In a bizarre and chilling case of attempted murder, Viktoria Nasyrova stands accused of a macabre plot involved a poisoned cheesecake targeting her doppelgänger, Olga Tsvyk, in New York City. This twisted tale unfolds with elements of seduction, deception, and a deadly dessert, leaving investigators and the public stunned by its audacity. On August 28, 2016, Nasyrova contacted a Queens-based beautician she'd seen a few times, a Ukrainian immigrant named Olga Tsvyk, pictured. Nasyrova said she was going on vacation to Mexico the next day and needed an emergency eyelash repair. The only problem was that Tsvyk was not at work, it was her day off. Nasyrova pleaded with Tsvyk to allow her come to her house for an appointment. Tsvyk accepted Nasyrova's plea, and when Nasyrova arrived, with her were 3 square pieces of cheesecake. Nasyrova insisted Tsvyk try it, and she obliged. 20 minutes later, Tsvyk says she began to feel sick and eventually passed out. Tsvyk's neighbor would later tell police he saw a woman come by the house the next morning with some chicken soup. After the woman quickly went up to Olga's room, the neighbor said the woman headed downstairs, cleaned the bowl, and left. After not seeing or hearing from Tsvyk all day, the neighbor said he went up to Tsvyk's room to check on her. He said he found Olga passed out in bed wearing lingerie. There were pills scattered on the floor, and despite the fact that it was summertime, the heater in Tsvyk's room was set to high. He said he called an ambulance. Records showed Tsvyk checked into a New York Presbyterian hospital in Queens, New York, where she would stay for 3 days. The hospital performed a urine analysis and a complete blood count test, but both came back negative for any illicit substances. Tsvyk was discharged on September 1st. After being alerted that Tsvyk was ill, her sister Irina flew to New York from Ukraine. She contacted police. NYPD detective Kevin Rogers received a phone call from patrol officers stating that there was a woman in a semi-conscious state who reported that valuables including handbags had been stolen from her room. Detective Rogers went to the scene and interviewed Olga Tsvyk. She told Rogers the last thing she remembered was her client Viktoria Nasyrova coming over with a piece of cheesecake that made her incredibly ill. She said she lost consciousness and her next memory was after returning home from the hospital. Rogers was suspicious and wondered why someone would target Tsvyk. He recovered the cheesecake container with the remaining pastry crumbs still inside and instructed his team to bag it for evidence and testing. Rogers tried to find Nasyrova but couldn't. Olga Tsvyk, who had a similar experience to another victim, Ruben Borakov, in Queens. Borakov met Viktoria Nasyrova on a dating site, and after dinner he passed out from poisoned food. Nasyrova stole his money and went on a shopping spree. 2 days later, Borakov was still unwell and Nasyrova fled after taking more cash. Unknown to investigators, Nasyrova was already wanted for other crimes. In 2014, Alla Alexyenko disappeared in Russia, and her daughter, Nadia Ford in New York, suspected Viktoria Nasyrova's involvement. Interpol issued a red notice, but Nasyrova remained elusive. In 2017, Ford hired Herman Weisberg, a private investigator who found Nasyrova living just blocks away in Brooklyn, through her Facebook profile, ultimately locating her. Using Facebook photos, Weisberg noticed mirrored sunglasses, reflections, and other details that led him to Nasyrova's car and apartment building, aiding in her location. On March 28, 2017, Weisberg alerted police to Nasyrova's location, leading to her arrest. A search for her apartment uncovered items belonging to Olga Tsvyk. Investigator Rogers noticed a resemblance between the two women, realizing Nasyrova was after Tsvyk's identity. The jury found Nasyrova guilty of attempted murder. After a short deliberation, Tsvyk expressed relief in an interview, feeling that justice has been served. Nasyrova faced a maximum sentence of 25 years. If you found today's video informative, please show your support by giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel, and turning on notifications for future updates. We would love to hear your thoughts about poisoned with a piece of cheesecake. Let us know your opinions and any questions you may have in the comment section below. Your engagement is valuable to us.